Hello all, and welcome to another video from my 2025 Japan trip. In this video, I'll be taking the world-famous Shinkansen bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto to spend a few days there. Last year on my trip, I made a trip report video of the Shinkansen where I sat in the green car seat, and I was hoping to do the same this year. However, green car seat prices have gone up a lot over the past year, so our only option economically was to sit in the less cozy and slightly more cramped standard class area. Was it any worse than the green car though? Or did it surprise me and wasn't as bad as I thought? Well, stick around to the end of the video to find out in this NJ Trains and Airplanes trip report. We start our journey by getting off a regular commuter train at Tokyo's main railway station, which is conveniently called Tokyo Station. Many of Tokyo's major railway stations are crowded most times of the day, and Tokyo Station is no exception. The station's layout can be complex to navigate compared to most other large stations around the world, but there are helpful signs everywhere showing directions to help guide you to each line. Before making my way to the platform, I made a quick stop at a supermarket to get some food for the journey. Since there's no cafe car on the Shinkansen, and meal services are only for green car passengers, I recommend grabbing a few things to eat before getting on the train. The line I'll be traveling on today is the Tokaido Shinkansen, which leaves from platforms 16 through 19 in the eastern section of the station. The Tokaido Shinkansen, which is presently operated by JR Central, opened for service back in 1964 by the Japan National Railways, and was the world's first true high-speed train. And over that time, the Shinkansen has kept an amazing safety record, having no accidents that involved any casualties. When I got to the platform, the train was already here, but we weren't allowed to board yet since the train was still being serviced for its next journey. The service I'm taking today is Nozomi Train 31, the 12:12 p.m. train to Hakata. The Tokaido Shinkansen has 3 different services, with the Nozomi service being the fastest one. Along the way, we'll only be making stops at Shinagawa, Shin-Yokohama, and Nagoya before reaching Kyoto, traveling nearly 300 miles in about 2 hours and 12 minutes. Talk about high speed. The train I'll be traveling on is the N700 series owned by JR West, which entered service in 2007 and travels at a max speed of 177 miles per hour on the Tokaido line. A few minutes before departure, we were finally let on board. The seats in standard class are in a standard 2x3 configuration. The interior was a bit bright, but not too painful on the eyes. My seat is row 5, seat A, a window seat of course. Now for the seat review. I thought the legroom was great, with plenty of room even with a backpack in front of me. What I didn't really like though was that the only power outlet in the row was near the floor under the window. This makes it easy to accidentally get your feet caught under a wire and unplug it, or trip over it if you try exiting your seat if the person in the middle or aisle seat has something plugged in. Every seat has a large tray table which can easily fit a large laptop. Every seat had a seat back pocket, and each row had one coat hanger. There was also a blind that completely covered the window. The armrest wasn't soft at all, but not totally uncomfortable. But the one thing that surprised me was how far the seat reclined. It reclined much farther than I would have imagined for a standard class seat. I tried demonstrating how far the pitch was here, but I'll show a better shot of the recline in a minute. Each seat in the car was reserved, which was the type of ticket I bought. I'll talk a little more about the different Shinkansen ticket options later in the video. Here's a better shot of me demonstrating how back the seat reclines. Free Wi-Fi is also offered on board, but as you can see when my brother tried testing it out, it didn't really work too well. And just like that, we depart Tokyo Station right on time. The first part of the journey involves the train snaking around the city's many skyscrapers. You would think a railway line like this would be underground in a city's central area, but in Tokyo, it seems that the railways came first and the skyscrapers came second. And about 5 minutes later, we reached our first stop at Shinagawa, which is still within the 23 main wards of Tokyo. After departing Shinagawa, the train picks up speed as we travel south through Tokyo suburbs. We're going much faster now that we even race past a commuter train traveling in the same direction. About 10 minutes later, we reach our second stop and our final stop in Tokyo's metropolitan area at Yokohama. Yokohama is the largest city in Japan's Kanagawa Prefecture and is Japan's second largest city. Though strangely, Yokohama is considered part of the greater Tokyo metro area. Unlike Tokyo though, Shin Yokohama Station, along with Shin Osaka, aren't located in the main city centers, which means you'll have to take another train to get to the main city. The train really becomes an express after departing Shin Yokohama, since the next station, Nagoya, is a whopping 196 miles away, and will take about an hour and a half to reach. The journey will also become more scenic as we leave the Tokyo metro area and fly through the Japanese countryside. Right now we're passing Odawada, which is the last stop we pass through within the greater Tokyo area. Odawada is the nearest Shinkansen stop to Hakone, a beautiful mountain town well known for its many hot spring resorts. And while I said the scenery gets nicer, at this part of the line, it's a bit hard to see what's outside thanks to the many tunnels we go through. I tried to get a glimpse of the ocean here, but there were so many tunnels that my camera didn't have time to focus before we went into another one. Ah, there we go. Nice to finally see the beautiful... Oh, and there's another tunnel. I finally got a somewhat decent glimpse of the ocean as we fly through Atami Station. Atami is a seaside town in Shizuoka Prefecture that also has a railway connection to the Izu Peninsula. Now this is the part of the journey where you would see Mount Fuji. Unfortunately, the day I was traveling was cloudy, so the mountain was completely hidden behind the clouds. So here's a video from the year before when I traveled on the Shinkansen, when the weather was much clearer outside, showing what the view could have looked like. I'm going to be real for a minute. Seeing Mount Fuji for the first time last year was just breathtaking.
When I say this train is fast, it's very fast.
For most of the run down to Nagoya, the train maintains its top speed of this line of 177 miles per hour. Believe it or not, there are Shinkansen trains that go even faster. The current fastest Shinkansen trains operate on the Tohoku line from Tokyo to Shin Aomori, with maximum speeds of 200 miles per hour. And a new Shinkansen line that'll run between Tokyo and Nagoya is currently under construction, known as the Chuo Maglev, which will operate trains reaching speeds of 315 miles per hour. Along the route, we also pass through other smaller and medium-sized cities, like Shizuoka, which is where we're passing now. Toilets are located on every car. There are larger restrooms accessible for people in wheelchairs, and smaller standard-sized restrooms like the one I checked out. The inside was very clean. Each toilet had a built-in bidet, which is very common for Japanese toilets. There was also a button which could open and close the lid. Next to the toilet was also a baby changing station. What I found amusing was these instructions on how to properly sit on the toilet. I guess this is because squat toilets, where you squat, are very common in Japan. So they probably have these instructions so people don't, I'll stop talking there. There was a sink inside the restroom, but there was also a sink outside in the vestibule area which has hand soap, which the sink inside the restroom does not. While exploring the train, I also checked out the green car and found an empty row to show you the seat a little. Unlike standard class, the green cars are carpeted and have softer lighting. The seats are much larger and way comfier, and even comes with a footrest. If you want a review of the green car seats in detail, go check out my Shinkansen trip report from last year. But anyways, I should probably head back to my seat now. I'm too broke to be in this car anyway. After we pass Mikawa Anjo Station, the train starts to slow down as we finally approach Nagoya, our last intermediate stop before Kyoto. Nagoya is the fourth largest city in Japan.
まもなく名古屋です。東海道線、中央線、関西線と名鉄線、近鉄線、青波線、地下鉄線はお乗り換えです。
I've never visited Nagoya, and it seems like many other tourists haven't either, since this city is usually overlooked by more popular cities like Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. But I think it's also, as far as I know, because there aren't really any attractions or historical sites that make Nagoya worth visiting for many tourists. If you know any notable spots that make Nagoya worth visiting, please let me know in the comments. After around a minute, the train is on the move once again. From here, it's about another 35 minutes to Kyoto. Soon after leaving Nagoya, the scenery goes back to beautiful farmlands and mountains. Before we reach Kyoto, I'll give my closing thoughts of the trip. My reserved standard class ticket for this trip ended up costing roughly 14,387 Japanese yen, or around $97 US. And this was the price for a one-way journey and not a round trip. And the sad thing was that this was pretty much how much my green card ticket cost me just the year before. Non-reserved tickets are also available, which are slightly cheaper, but it comes with the chance that someone who reserved the seat you chose will tell you to move, and likely not politely. You can also buy a JR Pass, which gives you free unlimited rides on the Shinkansen, except for the fastest services or access to the green car, which you'll need a separate ticket for. I didn't use a JR Pass on my vacation. But what did I think of standard class compared to the green car? Honestly, besides the pricey ticket, I thought it was fine for a 2-hour journey. The seat was comfortable enough, but the cabin was less cozy than green class, which is to be expected. So if you're traveling in Japan and want to choose saving money over having a comfy seat, standard class will do just fine. However, JR Central as well as JR West announced that they'll be increasing ticket prices for the Shinkansen, so expect the prices to be a bit higher than what I said. But I would say that the Shinkansen is the best way to travel from Tokyo to Kyoto, especially with the amazing on-time performance of the trains, short travel time, great scenery, and the fact that Kyoto has no airport. Anyway, our journey now comes to an end as we arrive at Kyoto Station at 2:24 p.m. The train only stops for 1 minute, so I have to move quickly. And welcome to Kyoto, which you might think is another giant metropolis, but it's actually only Japan's 9th largest city. Kyoto was once the capital of Japan until the Meiji Restoration of 1868, when the capital was moved north to the city of Edo, which was later renamed to Tokyo. I hope you all enjoyed this latest trip report. Have you traveled on the Shinkansen? What was your experience like? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and share the video, as well as subscribe to the channel to show your support and help my channel grow. I have a lot of videos of Japanese trains from my 2024 and 2025 trip, so check out those videos if you're interested. Anyway, that's all for me today, and I'll see you all next time.